Nice to see you again. As you guys are now approaching game week here next week, curious how you feel about how things are going, not only defensively, but how you feel like the offense is looking as well.
Oh, I feel really well. There's a lot of competition going on between defense and offense. Like some days, offense gets after it, defense gets after it every day, and it's just like a lot of competition going between the two of us. So I'm real confident in us, and I think we're both looking good on both sides of the ball.
Great, Pat Rooney.
Hey, Mustafa, thanks for doing this. I know you guys can go out there and play with a lot of confidence, but not a lot of expectations maybe on this team outside your program. What has to happen for, what has to fall in place? What has to happen for you guys to maybe come up and surprise some people?
Well, we have to go out there and execute everything that we've been practicing all of camp, basically. We have to go out there and set a tone, be physical, and let them know what Colorado football is about. We got to set an example and let them know that we're no joke. We need to get rid of that stigma of Colorado's weak kind of thing, We got to go set the tone and play ball.
Adam Munster Tiger.
Hi, Mustafa. I kind of wanted to build off Pat's question there. How aware are you guys of what's said outside the program? Is that something you guys try to shield yourself from, or do you like to absorb it and use it as motivation?
I wouldn't say we shield ourselves from it, but we also don't absorb it. Like everyone on the team has social media. Everyone sees what people say. Everyone sees where they rank us. I don't think it's an emphasis to focus on what everyone else is saying, but it's more of a focus on we have a job to do. We know what we have a game plan and we know what we need to execute type of thing. I don't think we let that affect how we're going to play.
Let's go back to Brian Howell.
Mustafa, I've heard some athletes say that, throughout this shutdown, it kind of gave them a greater appreciation for the game, but also in some ways turned their focus outward onto other things that were more important. So I'm curious on a personal level, your thoughts on how you kind of handle things and kind of took your approach to get through the shutdown and this whole craziness of this year.
Yeah, well, me personally, I'm a ball player. I don't really got much else to do except play ball. So during when we first went home, I ended up going to Arizona and trained with my older brother. Just did some stuff out there just to leave the state of Colorado and kind of, get a new view and kind of just get away from just being in Boulder so often. And then when I came back, I linked up with some of my teammates like T. Lang and a couple of the rest of the D linemen. And we just ran sprints and did D line work and just, So I never really got away from football, but if I were to say anything, I kind of just started playing video games and I kind of got really good at it. So, I don't know if you guys play attention to anything about video games, but I ended up getting put in a lobby with Nick Merckx and I killed him and he's a big name for video games and stuff like that. So I guess that, but other than that, I pretty much stayed on ball.
Mark Johnson.
Hey, Mustafa, I've had a chance to work with Chris Wilson a couple of times in the last 25 years. And I know by reputation, he's considered an elite level position coach. I'm wondering what's been your experience working with Chris now over the last few months?
He's very intense. He knows what he's talking about. He has a certain way that he wants it done, and he's going to get it that way, whether you do it or not. It's either you do it right or the next man's up and he's going to do it right. So it creates a lot of competition and a lot of intensity between the group, but we're all friends and it's all good. But that's the biggest thing I noticed is that he has a certain thing that he wants it done. And if you can't get the job done, he's going to put someone in place for you to do it. So with that philosophy, it creates competition and it makes people do it right.
And let's go to Justin Guerrero.
Mustafa, you said a few minutes ago, just on a day-to-day basis in practice, sometimes the offense gets the best of you guys, sometimes the defense does better than the offense, but can you simplify that at all down to the D-line versus the O-line? I mean, is it kind of back and forth, like you guys get the better of them some days, vice versa? How would you kind of rate how things have been going, D-line versus O-line?
I would say it's the same with that aspect too, because, every play starts up front and you got to move. So I think that's where everything develops in the first place. So I think that with all that competition, I think it's been going back and forth. And then honestly, it goes play to play for O-line and D-line because sometimes your man beats you, sometimes the other person beats you, And it's more just who across the board is doing it the best and doing it right. Because in a game, that other team's going to make some good plays, just like we're going to make good plays. It's more about who's doing it more often. And that's where it comes why we're going back and forth. because some days the O-line's doing it more often, making better plays than D-line, and D-line making better plays than the O-line.
Neil Wilk.
Hey, Mustafa, just a quick question. What's the difference in confidence level between the beginning of last year and this year on the defense?
We have a lot of experience. We don't have as many young guys in the secondary, so I think that builds a lot of confidence. Another way we're getting confidence is that we're getting after the quarterback a lot more, so we don't have to put so much pressure on our DBs to guard for so long and cover for so long. So we're definitely more confident in that aspect as well.
And
Thank you.
Brian Howell has a follow.
Mustafa, we were just talking to Darian Hagan, who was, really raving about the running backs group. We've heard a lot about them. So I'm curious from your perspective, how you've seen guys like Alex Fontenot and Jaron Mangum and some of those other guys take a step up from last year.
One person in particular that stepped up a lot was Jay Brew. Jared Broussard, I saw him when we had our first scrimmage. He was cutting up, making big plays, big runs. And it was real nice to see that we have a big group of backs that can all make plays. Like we know Mangum's big back. He's going to run through the hole, make a play happen. Alex real shifty and all those things. And it's real nice to see that we have that diversity of backs and the amount of backs in our backfield as well.